Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome to a new movie review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Netflix movie Against the Ice, which has just dropped. So let's talk about it. So this film here, Against the Ice, it's a story of survival, set in Greenland. It's my kind of film. I do remember seeing the trailer a little while ago and I was intrigued because I do like these sort of stories of survival. So I'm going to tell you about the film, tell you my thoughts on the film, whether it's worth watching, all that sort of nonsense. So let's start. So this film it's set in 1909 and it follows Denmark's Alabama expedition led by Captain Inar Mikkelsen, who was attempting to disprove the United States' claim to northeastern Greenland, a claim that was rooted in the idea that Greenland was broken up into two different pieces of land. While leaving their crew behind with the ship, Mikkelsen sleds across the ice with his inexperienced crew member Ivar Iverson. The two men succeed in finding the proof that Greenland is one island, but returning to the ship takes longer and is much harder than expected. Battling extreme hunger, fatigue, etc., they finally arrive to find that the ship is crushed by the ice and no one is about, with their camp being abandoned. Yeah, so that's pretty much the story of the film. Now, the film runs at 1 hour and 42 minutes. It's rated 12. Yeah, so this film stars Nicolaj Coster-Waldau as Inar Mikkelsen, the main star of the film. Now, he was Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones, so considering he's got such a difficult name, I might just refer to him as Jamie from here on out. Joe Cole plays Ivar Iverson. Proceedings are topped up by Charles Dance. He's got a small role in the film. The film was actually written by Nicolaj Coster-Waldau, Jamie, and Joe Durr. They're both writers on the film. The film's directed by Peter Flimpf, who I can't tell you anything else that he's directed. I have had a look, but I can't. I don't know. There you go. So anyway, like I said, this film is it's a story of survival. Now, it is a true story. It's based on a book that was actually written by. We'll come to that at the end. It's based on a true story anyway, and there is a book of it, but that kind of gives stuff away. But anyway, yeah, I won't go into that. So the film, like I said, is a story of survival. Now, like being set in 1909, it's one of those sort of stories of explorers on the ice, like we used to do back in the day when the world was unknown and it was growing. And like I said, you've got these two individuals that cross the ice to disprove this theory that America has, and only to come back to find that their ship has been crushed by the ice and they're left stranded on the ice with their camp abandoned, not knowing what's happened or anything like this. Now, the film is like I said, it's my type of film. I like these survival stories. That being said, there's a lot of familiarity in the film. If you've seen things like The Terror and stuff like that, and Arctic, which is more modern day set, obviously, but this is more like The Terror, the TV series, the first season. It follows the same sort of stuff. You know, there's only so much you can do on the ice. There's the struggles of dealing with the topography of the land. There's polar bear attacks, all this sort of stuff that you would expect. But regardless of that, this is a really good film. I mean, it's beautifully shot. The cinematography for the film is fantastic. It's, you know, you got some lovely wide long shots, and Greenland just looks absolutely beautiful in its bleak vastness, and yeah, it's just really good. The effects in the film are fantastic. You know, from the polar bear up to the construction of the ship and all this sort of stuff, it looks really, really good. Costume design is spot on. You know, I don't disbelieve that what I'm watching is set in 1909 and beyond. Now, these characters end up being stranded for about 3 years on the ice here. And you do get that sense of time. They do give you days and all this sort of a thing. Obviously, they head off with dogs. Stuff happens. till it's just the two of them left. And obviously it goes down the path of sort of madness setting in, madness of them being alone, and what that causes with hallucinations and all this sort of thing. And if you can hear that noise, that's because the bin lorries have turned up at this time, because it's the morning. So try not to listen to that. Yeah, so it's a fantastically shot film. It is beautiful. The acting in it is really good. I've got to say that I didn't like the character of Ivor Iverson at the beginning. He's somewhat annoying and this sort of a thing, and he's the sort of person you just want to say, shut up, be quiet. But that's what's meant to be happening. You get the feel of that from the captain, Jamie, in our Mickelson. But as the film goes on, their friendship kind of blossoms, but it's put under pressure. Now, there's an incident in the film where they have the chance to be saved, but it doesn't happen, and the captain blames himself for this. He does blame himself, but it brings on that sort of madness that he then thinks that the other guy is permanently blaming him and all this sort of stuff. So, you know, it's a wonderful, wonderful film. You know, and then when you step aside and you see the sort of political side of it, you know, what's happening on the mainland, with trying to get together another rescue and this sort of thing, and how that's treated. It's all very, very clever, very well written, and just a fantastic film. The soundtrack is good for the film. The music was done by Volks Bertelmann. He's done music for stuff like Netflix before, like Old Guard and things like that. The soundtrack works in context with the film. Not that there's anything overly outstanding for it or anything like this, but overall, you know. Now, my final thoughts on the film, because I've seen lots of films like this. Like I said, there's a wealth of familiarity within it of what I'm watching. Feels like I have seen it before, especially with The Terror, which was, you know, a big favourite of mine when that first season came out. So I feel, but nevertheless, this is handled very well. It's a beautiful film to watch. It's well acted, well paced, and you can't go wrong by spending an hour and 42 minutes watching this movie. Anyway, this is AJ. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care all, and goodbye.